Alright, one of the things you're going to do first is to go in and select which wave files or audio files that you're going to drag. Drag those into the timeline for Reaper, and it's going to ask you to import them on separate tracks, and you'll just hit yes that you want to do that. Then everything will be on the timeline. I already know that the BPMs are 65, so I'm going to enter that. And I'm going to remove the snap feature. So that allows me to set up the files so that I can move it and know exactly that everything is starting on the first beat. So in Reaper, you can just double click over that track on the mixer, and you can type whatever you want for the title of that track, and then I just hit tab. So I have the drums on 1, acoustic guitar on 2, then go ahead and name the rest of the tracks. After those tracks are named, then I'm just going to make sure that I save this file. The title of this song is "We Have Our Savior," so just title that with and save it with the other files. So I moved my click to track 1, and then I'm just going to move these to measure 2 so that everything just lines up, and make sure that that's snapped onto that grid. Looks like everything works. I'm just going to double check that throughout the song, just make sure there's no tempo changes, and everything looks good there. Joy to the earth. Checking in a few different areas. We have our Savior. Looks like everything fits well on that timeline. So I'll go ahead and re-enable that snap feature. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of these tracks. I'm going to pan everything to the right, and then I'm going to select the individual files that I want to render. And this first one is drums. So I'm going to pan that all the way to the left, and everything else is on the right. Okay, so I'm going to go up and render that mix. I'm going to render it to an MP3. We have our Savior, and then I'm just going to hit underscore drums. I'm going to add that to the render queue. Then I'll go back, pan that back to the right, pan the next track to the left, rename that track. That's going to be acoustic guitar. Add that to the queue as well. Pan it back to the right with everything else, and just continue on. Our next is the bass. Electric guitar. The shortcut to that is Command Option R, and that will be the shortcut for rendering. The great thing about adding this to the queue is on other programs, you are going to have to do each one of these individually. Like Pro Tools, it has to render out in real time. The advantage of Reaper is that you can put it all in a queue. You have everything set. It's going to be at the same MP3 at 160K, and you can make that whatever. Now I just hit to show the whole render queue, and I just went and hit render all. That's going to go through each file, and it's doing that roughly 4 times the speed. It'll go through that first track. Once it finishes that, it just goes back, resets, and does the next one. So everything is all set in Reaper, and it will render out each one of these MP3s in just a few minutes, and then you will have everything the way you need it.